Well, let's just jump right into it. Today, guys, thanks for joining us, all our viewers and listeners out there. We have a special guest. Goes by the name of Cody Ray. Cody Gettler here with us today, running for city commissioner. Is that correct, Cody?
Yes, I am.
Running for city commissioner of Garnett, Kansas. He's a hometown boy. Grew up just in Garnett, USA. How you doing, Cody?
Doing all right. Thanks for having me, guys. How's everybody doing? I haven't seen everybody since, I don't know, probably Cornstalk.
Woo!
Yeah, yeah. A year ago. Well, Cody, I think I saw you last month.
Cody's trying to be political and not trying to disclose you guys' relation, I think.
Relation? No. Cody and I are just good buds, right?
No, you're my brother, man. Wyatt and I grew up together. We were both kind of grew up as an only child. Wyatt obviously has an older brother, but I'm an only child, so Wyatt was, my brother growing up. Kicked your butt at basketball every time we played out at Grandpa's house, but that doesn't matter. That's beside the point.
Yeah, you were the athletic one.
Wyatt, I remember you having a pretty good outside shot. Cody, I don't know that I ever saw you play.
All right, move on to the question.
Yeah.
Cool. So, Cody, just to kind of give you a rundown, we just want to get to know you. We want this to be casual, calm, cool, collected, and let's just start off. Tell us kind of what you do now outside of running for city commissioner. What's Cody's day to day?
Okay. Well, I'll start. About a year ago, I graduated from KU, the University of Kansas Business School in 2018. I had a great opportunity to work for a company called the Baker Group, a merger and acquisition consulting firm out of Overland Park. Coincidentally, the owner of the company, his name is Jerry Baker. He actually grew up in Garnett. He graduated in the 30s. He's 84 right now, I believe.
Jiminy.
But you would never believe it. He is he's a smart guy and such a role model. And he's been a serial entrepreneur all his life. He started a tech company, and the company that he had started back then was one of the first. I believe, don't quote me on this, but one of the first 2,100 companies to trade on the NASDAQ whenever it first started in 1971. So that's kind of where he began. After that, he began this company about 35 years ago, Baker Group and Associates, which turned into Baker Group Merger and Acquisition Consulting Firm Incorporated. The main office is out of Overland Park. But back to my main point, after graduation, I met up with Scott Schulte, who began working for him. And Scott's dad, who just passed away, C.D. Schulte, was good friends with Jerry Baker. They kind of grew up together. And Scott said after college, Scott offered me a position to come down and work at the Baker Group satellite office. So, and I was thrilled to be able to move back to Garnett after college because this is home. This is my hometown, and I wanted to get more involved around here. And at first, after college, I really didn't see any opportunity until this came along, a corporation a larger business out of Overland Park having a satellite office in Garnett, Kansas. Great opportunity. So I moved back to Garnett and began working for Baker Group, and also with Scott Schulte. We still do a little bit of the financial side of his business. After I graduated, I obtained my insurance license to sell insurance products such as fixed index annuities, life insurance, Medicare subs, and things like that as well. on top of my education from KU, which was in business management and entrepreneurship. So I moved back to Garnett shortly after graduation, and here we are now.
Yeah.
I
Can I jump in real quick? I just have this question. I think it's awesome that you have this opportunity to come back to your hometown. But being from a hometown, the same hometown, and just hearing so often kids, very bright kids in our hometown, really wanting to just get out, and a lot of them don't care if they ever come back, right? Like what drives you to come back?
That's a great question.
You're a bright kid, man.
I'm glad you asked that. I wasn't like a lot of those kids back in high school, that you hear of saying this is only Garnett. But you know what? I feel like we are Garnett. And I got involved in high school in a lot of organizations. For one, it's hard to believe it's been about a decade now. We started this program called the Youth in Government Program, where we would have a senior in high school go and sit on every city commission meeting and kind of voice their opinion. They'd be on a docket, the agenda, to be able to voice their opinion along with the other 3 commissioners, which I think was an awesome program to get started. So I served on that and went to every meeting for about a year and a half. And the program was directed by Mike Sibley along with Joyce Martin, who was city manager at the time. And I hate to hear that, Arthur, honestly, people our age, saying that I want to get out of Garnett. I want to get out of Garnett. That is not a mindset that I've ever had. And like I said a few minutes ago, I was thrilled to have the opportunity to come back to Garnett. And
why do you think that it's not a mindset? What do you think the difference is between you and those people? Like what do you think there's just an experience that you had that others didn't growing up? Aside from the city commissioner thing.
Okay. I mean, I would say that perhaps there, it's a community of a little less than 5,000 people, and everybody was excited to go off to college or get out. But I don't know where, honestly, I really don't know where the negativity around Garnett came from and their mindset. But I certainly didn't have that experience, and I hope that you guys didn't either. Arthur comes back regularly. We know everybody here, and it's just a friendly town. And kudos to those who move on to college, graduate college, move on elsewhere in the world and do great things. I mean, that's great. But, I see Garnett as a great community of people. There may not be a lot of people around here where they can say that they're well off. There's may not be a lot of opportunity to work for that certain corporation that you want to work for or do what you want to do every single day. But, in a community where you can walk down the street or drive down the road and see somebody that we all have each other's back in this community. And I think that's why it's so important to me to continue to be involved with the community. And I've always been for the betterment, and I've always been interested in the operation of several aspects of the community, whether it be the city commission, the leadership in the city, or the fire department, which I was kind of involved with there for a short period of time, and other organizations. It's just a great place to live and grow
Cody,
up. Am I wrong?
Can you grow a mustache?
Not as good as you, but
I just want to picture Cody on like one of those calendars, those
Yeah.
firefighter calendars.
Oh yeah.
I would buy one of those.
With an axe in my hand.
Yeah.
With an axe in your hand, with just the no shirt, but the suspenders with the pants. Oh yeah.
You know, we have a city manager right now who is a younger guy, not too much older than you guys, and he's done a phenomenal job. And it's so nice to see, you know, younger people becoming involved and seeing the value of a community like Garnett. I mean, we have a lot of resources here. We have a lot of great people, great employees that work for the city that's trying to make this the best that they can. And people don't realize that.
Yeah, I think when you get
But
to
other people do. And that's kind of one of the reasons I want to kind of bring a different perspective. And we'll probably get into this here a little bit later in your questioning, but you know, I think I could bring a different perspective, a younger perspective. And I'm just thrilled to be back home in this community where, you know everybody, and it can be a good thing and a bad thing at times.
Was this always the plan, Cody, to come back here and run for office?
No, it wasn't. You know, I always thought that, you know, I would always consider Garnett home, but I always thought that after college, I would either remain in Lawrence or, you know, I've always been interested in the business world or look into, the corporate world of things. But working here in a satellite office for a bigger business was just a great opportunity that came about. And, I hate to say it, but I really didn't have a plan set in place, set in stone. I had a plan.
Not many do.
But not set in stone, through college.
Nobody has a plan set in stone.
And hell, I still don't have a plan. I mean,
Got an idea. Right?
I got an idea and goals, but the plan is always changing, and it changed several times. But it's good to be back in Garnett, and it's good to see you guys doing this. Good old Garnett boys.
So I guess give us what's your perspective? What do you think that you could offer, I guess, as a city commissioner?
Well, I think, like I mentioned a little bit before, I hinted to, I want to bring in a different perspective, and we have a great city manager right now that's doing a great job. As did the city manager before him. Joyce did a great job. But we have a younger guy in there as well now, and he's continuing to do that great job. And we have some commissioners that I would love to work with. And
can I ask a question real quick?
Garnett has a lot of opportunity. If you look at Garnett's hub, Kansas City's metropolitan area is getting closer and closer to Garnett, and Garnett is going to continue to have several economic development opportunities. And our economic development board, which once I moved back here, I recently joined back in January. So I joined the economic development board, which is a group of people from the county and the city that kind of advise the economic development director, Julie Turnipseed, who has done a phenomenal job. And that has just been a skill set that I have going to those meetings, learning from all these people these business people who attend the meetings, and things that we can do economically to build up our industry base and bring business into Garnett and be more attractive to Garnett. It has been a great experience. Go ahead, Arthur. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. I was the one interrupting you. I just as far as you're saying, the new city manager was continuing the good work. What kind of good work was that? And I didn't mean to get off the rails there. I just wanted to kind of understand what a city manager actually does. You can give me as brief explanation as you
Okay. Well, I mean, you know, if I get elected to the city commission, obviously we're not always going to see eye to eye, but he has new ideas that he's bringing in. He's a younger guy. He has an outstanding resume. He was previously the city administrator of Girard, Kansas, which is south of here. I'm sure you guys know where Girard is. He just has an outstanding resume for his age, and we're really lucky in Garnett to have him. You know, stepping into Joyce Martin's shoes and continuing to run the show. And we almost lost them there to Iola, Kansas, there for a short period of time, where he got an offer from Iola, Kansas, and he was going to be making about $10,000-$15,000 more than what he would here in Garnett. But we were able to make a deal with him, extend his contract, give him a little bit more pay that's equal in the marketplace, that's reasonable in the marketplace, even probably on the low side, in my opinion, for a city manager. But we were able to retain him, and because we got a lot of projects coming up in terms of infrastructure, which we can get into here. But we have been really lucky to have him. And if you guys want to go ahead and get into infrastructure, that's kind of the biggest thing that I'm running on right now. But go ahead.
Yeah, let's use that transition, man. What are some of the infrastructural plans that you got?
Give us a definition of infrastructure.
Okay. So first of all, around Garnett, a lot of people are concerned about their property tax. So I would compare it to a business. How do you become more fiscally responsible in a business? You're going to want to increase cash flow and decrease debt. So basically, that's the basics. So we have a lot of projects going on. I'm going to start with the city water treatment plant. We're going to need a new water treatment plant here in the next year to 2 years. It's going to be in progress, and that's going to be able to allow us to drive in more industry, which is going to increase our tax base, lower our property taxes for our citizens. Because honestly, guys, our property tax around here is pretty high compared to even a county such as Johnson County. It's higher than that. Our real estate tax is higher than theirs in several instances. So, but to bring in the industry, we're going to have the infrastructure, which includes roads, being able to produce the amount of water that some of these industries coming in are going to require, such as the ethanol plant. We're feeding them. If we were to bring in another industry like that provides that amount of water and those many jobs, we're not going to be able to support them right now with the water treatment plant that was built in the 1940s. So the plans are in the works. We have about 50% of the preliminary planning done with the engineering company that we're working with. So it's going to be going out to bid, and we really need to get the ball rolling on that. And also with our roads, I mean, that's always been a concern around the city of Garnett, with our roads, the potholes, and honestly, it's a concern with any city. But we need to be attractive and be able to accommodate these industries that want to come in here to Garnett because we have a lot of potential. We have room for growth in our industrial complexes, but our infrastructure currently, such as our water supply, to be able to supply them with water, wastewater, and even our electric lines, our electric infrastructure, it's horrible. I mean, it's in ruins. We need to start. We need to have a plan in place to be able to start, figuring out which spots, where in the city we need to start, instead of us as a commission or them as a commission and the city deciding that. I think there needs to be and it might cost, 30 to 32, $35,000. I looked into it, to have an engineer come in and help us with this civil engineering project to help us decide where we need to start, what we need to do, and get a time frame and an amount of how much it's going to cost. So I think that's an important thing that we need to do here in the future in terms of infrastructure, in order to bring more industry in, to bring more tax dollars in and lower our tax base, which would lower your ad valorem, your property, your real estate tax. And, I was talking with the guy the other day, and he said, you either deal with what you got and pay for what you're paying, or you pay a little more and you get a little more. And I think that's true in terms of property tax. So I also talked with another a person who was, again, and here, let me back up. Here's a positive, because I've been kind of negative here in the terms of infrastructure. We just got a $5 million grant to extend our runway at the airport. That project's been in the works for about 30 years now.
Finally, my jet will be able to land.
Exactly. We're gonna have a lot of corporate metal coming in after.
There we go.
So that's nice to see. And so that's a $5 million grant. And who would be against that? I don't know. I don't know why they would be. I talked to a guy who said that he is against it because he doesn't believe in. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that, but.
I want the juicy details, man.
Well, okay, he's just against it because he thinks that a city government, a city municipality shouldn't be accepting federal funding. And I asked him, I said, where would that money be going if we didn't accept it? He said, back to the taxpayers. I said, BS.
No way. Yeah.
Nope.
What's going to happen to that money?
We're never seeing that.
So it's nice to see this airport project come in, and we're probably going to be breaking ground on that here in the next year as well. So we got two big projects going on in terms of infrastructure. The water treatment plant, I think, is number one. I mean, it has to be number one. We have 1940s equipment where we can't get parts. The building is total, crap.
It's in disrepair. Yeah.
And, and at the same time, we have another team working on the airport. And like I said, Garnett's becoming a hub, just almost, Gardner and the Kansas City metropolitan area is moving closer, guys. And I just see so much, so many resources, so much potential in the city of Garnett. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to run. And I think we need someone who's business minded, has new ideas, has a different perspective. And, I have that, I believe, or I wouldn't have ran. So I hope I get elected, and I hope I get the opportunity to work with the city commissioners that we have now, and Chris Weiner and everybody else who we have working for the city. Our economic development director, who is super motivated, our chamber of commerce, everybody, Susan, everybody who works for the city has done a phenomenal job. And they might not have gotten as much support from the past couple years from some of the city commissioners that they should have. And I think that should change. Okay, that's one thing that I really think should change. They need the same support that you know that they deserve.
That's awesome. I like seeing you getting fired up, man.
Yeah.
They should.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. For real. I think that. Do you think that a lot of people in Garnett really think about this, or do you think it's something that you could bring to their attention, or do you think it's just the people in those positions that are thinking about it?
People think about it whenever they get bothered by it. So whenever it comes to infrastructure, they are bothered by the roads per se. They don't know the details. I've spent, I don't know, several hours now trying to learn about this water treatment plant with a guy from Hawkins, as well as our city manager. You can never ask too many questions whenever you're coming into this position. And I've been to every single city commission meeting since I filed to run several months ago. And I have a pretty good grasp on what's going on. And I've been, I hate to say bothering him, but, asking the city employees, the city manager, as well as, other people throughout the community, what they think, trying to learn as much as I can, so I don't have to learn on day one. And it just worries me that someone else who might be running, hasn't been at any of the city commission meetings or has done the research and is only running on a single issue. That concerns me as someone who realizes what we're going to be facing here in the next 1 to 3 years in terms of all these projects that we have going on, the plants that we're going to be replacing, like the water treatment plant and upgrades to other plants. It just worries me that someone is just running on a single issue, because we've seen that in the past. We have seen that in the past. They run on a single issue and they're there for a term, and they really don't do their research on any of the other issues that we're going to have to be dealing with as a city commissioner or a leader of the community. And you know what? My opponent has been a friend. I've known him for years, but I just believe that we need someone in there who is business minded, has that entrepreneurial spirit, has that entrepreneurial experience that I've gained in my classes at KU, in my entrepreneurship classes at KU, and as a partner in a business, partner in our business, show more financial, and also working with a corporate business where we're constantly coming up with new ideas, creative deal structures. And, it's been a short period of time that I've been involved with business outside of college, but I believe I've had the experience. Even in high school, it kind of shows that I attended every city commission meeting for a year and a half whenever I was helping with the youth and government program. But we just need someone in that position who can bring new ideas and help run this city, and because it's a competition between other municipalities whenever we're bringing in industry, and I don't understand why someone would be against bringing in new industry whenever it helps out the community, it brings in jobs, it increases our tax base, and it lowers our ad valorem tax mill levy. If that makes sense, I can get into the mill levy, which
No habla.
How do you
Decennial.
how do you spell that?
The
Ad
mill
valorem mill levy.
ad valorem.
Advil.
Yeah. You're
He
gonna
wants to bring in
need about-
pharmaceutical companies.
need about 3 of those by the time this thing's over with.
I've always wondered. So take me through like how something gets passed, like in a city government. Like what? Like, do you actually vote on stuff, or do you work with the other city commissioners to propose stuff? How does the passing of this stuff to go through? How does that work?
Okay, well, we have the city code and city statutes, city ordinances, and then resolutions. So every one of those things, the city commission votes on, and right now we're getting ready to work on the city code. The current city commission is going to be working on the city code. And in terms of updating it. But if an ordinance, if there's an issue and an ordinance gets drawn up by the city attorney, then it has to get passed by the city commission. So basically, your city commission is the one who makes the laws of the city, of the municipality. So in terms of ordinances, resolutions, and the laws of the city, basically. So we're the overseers. They're the overseers. The commissioners are the overseers of the of passing, different ordinances and laws that for the betterment of the community.
I love that
Dang.
you said we're. You're already thinking. Like you get.
No, I'm not. I'm really not. I
I'm
mean,
kidding, man.
Yeah.
I'm a kid.
He's
I
thinking
think-
we as in Garnett. He's thinking about the team.
That's right. Dude. I love when you brought up like your entrepreneurship classes and stuff like that. Honestly, really love my entrepreneurship classes in college, and one of the definitions that my teacher would always bring up, his definition specifically is recognizing opportunity and acting upon it. And just through what you've talked about right now, man, you embody that, and so I think that's something that this town absolutely needs, is somebody that recognizes opportunity and acts upon it. Because even from high school, you're talking about recognizing an opportunity to get involved with the community at that age. Who's thinking about that, and who recognizes that opportunity, right? Like, I think that's pretty awesome.
Is that an official endorsement, Arthur?
Well, hey,
Give me a mug. Give me a mug for my other podcast, and I'll drink from a Cody Gettler mug.
I won't.
No, I'm not trying to be cocky or anything, but it's just something that someone needs to be in that position where they're not being influenced by an outside source. They have their own ideas, their business mindset, and they're willing to learn. Willing to learn about the city. For example, I had a meeting, and I had someone. I got it right here. I had someone walk me through the exact plans of the water treatment plant. You can see my notes on there.
So now I know how to break into the water treatment plant. Okay.
Yeah, screen grab.
It just takes someone whose business mindset is there and having some common sense and willing to work with our city employees, listen to our city, our constituents, and I through the past several years, Wyatt, this, I've always gotten to know a lot of people in Garnett, and
yeah. Would you say that nobody knows who you are? Would you say there's one person in Garnett that doesn't know who you are? Would you believe that?
I mean, there are, but I just feel like I'm an open person, and you can contact me at any time. And I've been passing out these cards with my number and email on them for people to email me their concerns, and a lot of commissioners haven't given out their phone number in the past, but I just want to reiterate that, um, you know, we need someone in there who isn't running on a single issue, and uh, and we need someone in there who has done their homework and isn't going to learn on day one. So
One thing I was curious about when I heard you were running is a lot of times, especially in government, either it's city or national or whatever, young people get labeled as like naive or idealistic. Have you felt any of that? Or and if so, what
yeah,
could you say to like kind of ease people's worries?
yeah, thanks. I wanted to touch on that as well. I have had a couple comments from a couple different people, maybe two, and I'll tell you exactly what they said. One person who came up to me, um, and she mentioned that um, she wants to see maturity in that office. And this person also ran for city commission a while back and lost. And that person mentioned that, and I don't know exactly where she was coming from, because I obviously graduated from KU. I am involved in a couple different businesses right now, especially a pretty big business out of Overland Park right now, and we work with companies throughout the country, doing mergers and acquisitions throughout the country with different companies in all disciplines, from heavy construction to um, physical therapy, and I just think it takes some discipline to be able to do that and hold that position. And I've been here about 8 months doing that in Garnett. And so I think she's totally wrong whenever she says that I was immature. I am immature. And then another person who also ran for another position um, at the state level told me that he was looking for someone who has been through their troubles, triumphs, and everything like that. And he really doesn't care if they're educated or what their concerns are. That's what he was looking for. So I just kind of shoved that, I'm not worried about that. I'm really not. I'm really not. I've been going door to door talking with people in their 60s, people in their 70s, even, and just constituents around Garnett. And I'm not afraid to talk to people like that. And I think that shows maturity right there. And to be able to and to show interest in learning about everything about the position, about what we have going on in the city, from what's going on in the water treatment plant, how does that work, what's that mean, or walk me through this item in the budget. What's this going towards? What's this mean? Can you walk me through this? That shows maturity, I think, and it doesn't matter how old you are. I think that, like I said before, it brings a unique perspective to the commission, which we really haven't had before, and I think that needs to happen.
You know what drives me nuts? When they require you to have experience, but how are you supposed to get experience? That I don't think experience. I think what you said is right. Like sometimes you just keep the experience first. You don't get any news perspective. Sometimes you need someone new and fresh to come in and help things out.
I've been involved or interested and also involved in the operations of the city since high school, and that's been about a little over a decade ago. Since I was a sophomore in high school.
That's true.
Showing your age.
I attended all the meetings. I was involved with several different organizations around town. Got to know a lot of people at a young age, got involved at a young age, and attended city commission meetings at a young age. I don't know other people who have done that, but I'm not running just to, on a single platform or to help other people out that through the community or help other people's agendas out. I have my own ideas, and I have a vested interest in this community, and I want to see Garnett thrive. I really do. So that's why I'm running. I am experienced, and I have a vested interest in seeing the betterment of the community. So.
Yep. Can confirm Cody did go to the meetings. I'd call him to hang out, and he'd tell me he'd go to the city commission meetings. I'm like, bro, come on. But guess it's all paid off now, hasn't it?
And you know what? At a young age, the inexperience is going to come out. We've all made our mistakes in life.
You're human, man.
Who hasn't?
I've got a list of mistakes you've made. I'm kidding.
No, just the pumpkin deal.
I
But
tell you, you look experienced. I'll give you that.
hey, it's the shorter haircut.
Oh yeah. They tell him to take a lot.
This podcast brought to you by Rogaine.
JK. So Cody, where does it stop? City commissioner, representative, senator, president. Where does it end for
Czar?
you? Well, one step at a time. We have a lot of stuff to focus on here in the city of Garnett, and it's a lot more than just campsites and other recreational, and then that's all fine and dandy. I'm all for that. We can do that, but we have these bigger issues, and if we don't bring in more infrastructure, or if we don't bring in more tax base, then our infrastructure is going to continue to dwindle, be in ruins. We also have a housing shortage here. We're going to have to focus on senior housing in the near future. I looked it up today. There's 12 houses total for sale in the county, in the entire county. There's 12 houses. Only 12 houses, which could be a good thing and could be a bad thing. I mean, it could mean that, we don't have many people moving away from here, but it also means that, we don't have that much room for people moving in to take on jobs if we do bring in infrastructure. So there's a lot of moving parts, guys. There's a lot of moving parts that, a business-minded person who's in this position, has to focus on. So.
Question. Say something that you gets passed, that you help get passed and gets built and stuff. Are you going to be the one with the giant scissors, cutting it open the ribbon? Is that going to be you? Nothing.
And that's been Cody Gettler, ladies and gentlemen.
The confidence. I love it.
I'm always up for a photo shoot. Now, guys, hey,
Bible in one hand.
I'm not running on publicity or anything like that. I'm running for the betterment of the community. I don't care who gets the credit as long as we are moving forward and staying ahead of the competition. So.
Wow.
Which
noble.
Do you see yourself kissing babies in the future? Is that one way to campaign?
Going on, Wyatt. Edit that
out.
The last 5 minutes, we're just scratching.
That's funny.
Man, any last questions we want to? I know you have a time squeeze at 7, but
yeah.
Any last question?
I can be a little bit late. That's fine.
Anything else you want people know
Yeah.
about you, Cody, or
Do
anything?
you
Yeah.
have anywhere people can like find you on social media or a website or anything like that?
I don't have my own website, but you can find me on. Well, I have my cards. Our office here in Garnett is on Oak Street. I feel free for anybody to stop in. I got my name, number on my card. Let me get that picture right in there. Look at that.
Wow.
There we go.
Dang, that's some good
Anyway.
Photoshop work.
Stop. I'm always welcome to talk to anybody, about any issue that they had. For example, I had about an hour-long conversation with this guy about a new ordinance regarding solar panels about a month ago. And so the more I can learn about the city of Garnett, the more I can learn about what we can do to make people's lives better here. I've learned a lot from being involved and past city leaders. I've learned a lot from Joyce Martin. I've learned a lot from people that I've met on the commission in past city commissions. That's been on the Garnett City Commission and other community leaders. I've learned so much from just talking with them, getting to know them, and stuff like that. And I want to give them credit. And Garnett has been a great community, and if they hadn't done such a great job and made this such a positive place to live, the city employees, everybody in the community who comes together and has each other's backs, I wouldn't have moved here. I had the option to move to the corporate world, corporate office, or come back down here to Garnett's office. I chose to come home, guys. So
No place like home. No place like home.
I
Well,
can
thanks
see
a
it.
lot, Cody, for being with us today and being our first guest on our show. It's been a pleasure.
glad to be the beta challenge. Thank you.
I can see it now. 20 years from now, coming into Garnett and driving home, it's gonna say, "Welcome to Garnett, Kansas, birthplace of Arthur Capper, hometown of Cody Gettler." I can see it now.